Hi, Jennifer.
Yes, I Sumit.
I'm very excited to have this conversation with you, specifically because it has been just 6 weeks that we have started to work together. And the one word which I have heard multiple times from you is unbelievable, unbelievable,
Yes.
multiple times, right? So maybe we jump right into there. Can you share your experience of the last 6 weeks and the unbelievable aspect of it?
Yes, it has, although it's just 6 weeks, it has been quite a ride. I was kind of stuck. I was running my business. It's quite busy. It's still quite busy. However, I didn't see any growth when it came to revenue. And we met previously a couple of months ago. You gave me some insights, which took me half a year to implement. And I always remembered all the lessons, and I was like, yeah, he is the person I should give a call and see how we can grow together. So basically, that's how I got to you. And you offered a strategic session. We did the session, and how do I describe this? I just got started, but real time, I felt this drive and energy again to just go for it. And yes, half of the time, the homework, you asked me like, just watch this movie, don't watch this. Like half of the time, I didn't have the time to do homework. I was so driven and focused. And it has been quite a ride. Yes.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit more about how was life before? So you said you were stuck with a particular revenue number. That was, I think, a couple of years.
Yeah, but I just didn't grow, although I was doing the right things. I was working with the right persons. But I didn't grow, and I wasn't particularly happy with it as well. And we just went back to the basics and see what makes me me. And what can I do to grow on revenue basic, and how can I choose better who I should work with? And then we talking about what kind of clients fit my business. And yes, that made I changed my marketing because of that. I quit offering small product to get started with. I immediately offer my core product, which I know will help my client the best. And I just start selling. I think that's basically what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we set a goal, which was like 1.7x than what you were stuck at for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And now 6 weeks in, we are almost there, right? We are almost 85 to 90% there. Can you share a bit more about that experience? How was that for you? Was it unexpected? Was it expected?
Well, we doubled the prices to get started with. And we had this role play, like how I would present this to my clients. And I thought that they would say that there's no way, you can't make this. Like I thought they were going to refuse and becoming some kind of resistance. They didn't. And you offer these little sentences that I can just say, like, for yourself that I charge too less, things like those are really easy to say, but it's so important in a conversation just to drop it. And you help me to really feel the position of the client when they talk to me, but also how I can improve my role and take more leaderships in that. And that immediately helped with the conversation. And I finally had a conversation where I felt in control in some kind of way. I was so like, oh my God, I hope they come to sign. And I was like, this is it, you do it or you don't. And I don't care. And I care about them, and I care about their business, and I care about their publicity. That's what I do. But this was the deal or not. And I was okay, whatever would be the end game here.
Yeah.
So that's, that made everything a lot better. And so that really helped. Yeah. So it's in leadership. It's in also smart things to say. Because most of the time I know what I want to express, but I don't have the words, and you help me a lot with that as well.
Yeah. And many times it's not about just doing, but also who you are being, right? So can you share what are you discovering about your being? How has it shifted internally that has led to those results on the external front?
Yes. Well, what I tell my clients, but you also told me, which is also really good to hear someone say that to me is you said, sell the results, don't sell the product, or don't sell what you do. Like, don't sell the work or sell the results. And that's so totally improved my approach, the things I'm sending my potential clients. And I called all the clients, like, what did you get out of this? Like, how was your year? And what did you get out of this? And I also asked them, like, what is the dream? And that gives me the chance to also make introduction that I normally would not do. But now I know their dream, and sometimes a client can help another client, and it's so easy to do, and they're so happy with it. And I like connecting people and see that they are, happy to help each other.
Yeah. And what has shifted for you internally, right? In your own mental well-being, in your anxiety, how is the internal state different than 6 weeks ago?
Normally I would just, when I would feel bad about something, I would just put on a podcast, immediately call someone, or I don't know, try to escape reality, I guess. And I just learn how to breathe in, breathe out, and try to accept how I feel, and try to just feel it. Okay, I feel pressure, and to say to myself, like, it's okay to feel this way. And that also helped me. There's a client who's leaving currently, which is fine. I knew that the time would come, and I can't add value anymore. And I knew it, and I expressed that. And now is the time come that we both know that it's okay. I love you. I love your work. I love how we work together. I highly appreciate the time we work together and the work we've done. And now it's time to move on. And but it's okay. And I'm not sure how okay I would have been if this would have happened like 6 months ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's quite ironical, right? Because you were stuck at a number, and now you're almost at your new number, which is much higher. And normally you would go into doing more or being more busy. But one thing which we have spoken about is doing less, or like sitting in silence or not doing anything. Can you share a bit more about how has that experience been, and how has that helped, especially for somebody who is listening who might not totally understand that? How would you describe that?
How it is to accept the situation and
and to be okay to slow things down.
Yeah, well, it's easier to enjoy life when you slow down. I told myself, like, 3 years on a row, it should be a year full of fun, which is not easy during all these lockdowns, Corona things we had. I thought life was everything but fun. And so I decided this year was also going to be a year of fun. But it helps when you're really present in the current situation and you really appreciate it. And I also learned it's okay to cry, and to, for instance, my mother was at school of my child this morning, which was a 1.5 hour drive for her to be at school for an hour. And I saw them just sitting in the class, and I walked away and was like, this is so good for my soul just to see this. It made me absolutely cry. But it's good. These are good tears, and I usually cry. Tragic, dreadful, and painful tears, but these are good tears. So, and it's okay. And it's good to know that it's okay.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think I honor that every time that happens, even in our conversations. And what you're doing right now is just the tip of the iceberg. Right? You have huge dreams for yourself, your clients, but generally outside of what we have been talking about as well. Can you share about some of those dreams that you have for the community, for entrepreneurs, especially for women entrepreneurs? And then how are some of those like areas which are opening up now, which were closed or restricted because you were too stuck at the revenue level? So how is the progress that we have made opening up so many new avenues for you now?
Well, I don't know how this happens, but I was working on a book for a couple of years. Yes, I had a deal with a publisher, and it was supposed to be published last year. It did not happen. And I was like, is it going to happen this year? And from out of nowhere, I just got a mail like, hey, we wanted to do this a lot quicker than we first thought this year. So within a month, you're going to have your book being published. And I'm like, that's like dream. Yeah, that's like dream material. And I had a talk with one of the people from the publisher, one of the team, and he just told like it's the most normal thing of his life. Yeah, I just we had a first bookshops that ordered your book, and I'm like, it will be in a bookshop, and I'm like, this is so big. It's like, to me, this is like dream material. These are the things I dreamt about when I was a little girl, to publish a book and to go to a bookshop and find my book there, and of course sell the shit out of it as well. Let's be honest here. Of course, it would be great if the first 1,000 books would disappear quickly towards very happy clients. And but yeah, it's unbelievable. And also, it's the stranger thing is that if you have more clients, then yesterday there was someone who wanted to negotiate. And I said, well, if I start negotiating with you, then I start negotiating with everyone. And then he said, is there something you want to tell me? I said, well, I still have 2 slots, so you take it or you don't. And after that, I'm full booked. I was like, yeah. This is it. Take it or leave it. And it gives a peace of mind, I guess.
Yeah, it's all interrelated, right? Your state of being, that grounding, that confidence, making it okay for somebody to walk away. And then seeing something magical being produced in the world, which you were waiting for a while. It's kind of related, doesn't look that way. But can you share a little bit more about some of those little surprises? Maybe not those big ones, but the little surprises that you're noticing even in your personal life?
Yeah, well, on a business level as well. We had this talk a couple of days ago, and you said, well, what if you find these 2 last clients to fill the whole base, basically? And I said, well, then I need smaller clients to leave. So one of them is just leaving, I just told you about. And another one, that's a client who I was supposed to work with, and then they didn't have the time to get started. Then they didn't have the time started. Then she was ill. And after we're half year through, we still didn't do any brainstorming. So we didn't get started. And so I took some leadership. I sent her a message and I said, well, hey, if you're not excited about this anymore, let's just quit. I'm like, let's just quit because we can. And then I can focus on this. Of course, I didn't write that to her, but I can focus on clients who actually pay me and love my work and let me do magic. Like that's what, of course, that's where I'm focusing on. And she, out of nowhere, after our conversation and after I said little clients who take time but don't get anywhere, they just need to go. She emailed, she thought about it, and it is a good idea to quit. And I was like, so, I'm really happy for it, things like these. And and on a personal level, what are the good things? I think I'm far more relaxed. I bought myself a new bicycle. I was like, I'm working hard. I'm earning a lot of money, of course. And my old bicycle, older people were bicycling faster than I was. They looked back like, why is she bicycling so slowly? And I was like, it's time. So yes, I gave myself the gift of a new bicycle, and I'm really happy with it. And it's just a bicycle, but I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. So we are just 6 weeks into a full year of a journey, right? So I'm sure, in fact, you have no idea what is coming in the rest of the year. But one thing which really struck me in our last conversation is that you told me that for the last few weeks, you have been creating each day as your best day ever. And then that day itself is showing up as that. Can you share a bit more about that process and some of those outcomes?
Yeah, well, I knew that, that deciding that something was great, that the chance would be far bigger to have something great, but I never really felt, I don't know. I never felt the power to do so in some kind of way. And I never get started like that. I didn't know why. Now I don't know why I never did it. However, I did it and I love it. A couple of weeks ago, I decided I felt kind of ill. And although that, I had lots to do. And I decided I better make a great day out of this. And I just decided that it was going to be a great day. And then I needed another great day. And then I had a fantastic weekend. And the strangest thing is like, I didn't do anything different during my weekend. I didn't do something fancy or something. It was pretty a normal weekend. But I just decided that it's going to be a fantastic week. And it became a fantastic weekend. So, yeah. It happened. So it's not unbelievable anymore. But it's like, it's dream material. And that gives me joy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's so small things, right? Another thing which I think which you're creating is that you are the best PR professional. And rather than see it as producing anxiety, but you just are showing up as that. And then that is producing those results on the outside. But the main shift is internal.
Yeah, yes, it is. And you always said, the first time we met, you said, like, if you just train leadership, afterwards the rest will follow. And I strongly believe that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So if somebody is listening to that and they are still at the edge of like whether to start working with me or not, what advice would you give them, or would you recommend coaching to see the kind of results that you're seeing?
What would I say if someone still doubts? That's the question, right? Yeah, take a leap of faith. That's always good. And get to know you. If you feel the connection, you should just go for it. I would absolutely challenge them to do a strategic session with you. We had one and it's, helped out tremendously. And we say in Holland, we say gunne. But how do you say this in English? Yes, let me translate this. This is really important. This is the highlight of the whole thing I want to say. Let me go to my translation software. Yes, I grant that everyone. That is grant.
Yeah. So it's like granting that permission, right? Granting that authority to yourself, first of all, and that leap of faith, right? Because anyways, it's not as big as we all do, right? As human beings, we all make it bigger in our minds than it is. And once you start to like taking those leaps of faith, it's actually much closer than what we earlier imagined it to be.
You just need to get started. And that's all. And it's, together it's far better and far easier than do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we end, is there anything else that you would like to add as a key takeaway from our work together so far?
That's the key of leadership. You teach me. I never ever ask people what their budget is. I tell them. Yeah. And that's like such an insight. It's such an insight. And the strangest thing is that when, I meet a lot of successful people who have a great story, otherwise there would not be any work for me, but they're also having a lot of leadership. And now I start to recognize I ask them, like, what are the lessons you take away when it comes to entrepreneurship and leadership? And then I had this client who told me about that whenever he feels like, what am I doing here? He just leaves. And I'm like, that's so powerful. He goes places where people are celebrated him and not tolerate him. And it's beautiful. It's so powerful. So also take lessons like these. I don't take them mildly. I listen to them and I'll act on it whenever it's necessary.
Absolutely, indeed, right? That is so powerful. You're showing up as a leader in your life and you're creating your own boundaries, and then results, as you said, right, will follow. And I'm super excited, right? This is just the beginning. You have your book coming up. You have multiple things which you plan to execute, both personally and professionally. And I'm super excited to see what the rest of the year holds for you.
Yes, me too. I always have a whole list of dreams I want to achieve. And in the end of the year, I'm looking back and I'm like, half of them I didn't have the time, the budget, or the possibility to do so. And now I have confidence we're going to do a lot more than I previously could imagine in a year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer, for this conversation. Thank you for everything that you bring in. Thank you for your courage, because I know a lot of these things are not easy. But as you said, right, it's a joy, it's the peace. There is no value you can put to that.
No, there's absolutely no value to put peace on your business and to have peace in your heart. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's true. Thank you. Looking forward to next week.
Yes, absolutely. Same here.